Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ecofeminism. Tonight we have a very interesting guest. Her name is Shreya Kaushik. She is an Indian based in Brussels. She's an artist, performer, dancer, and social entrepreneur here in Brussels. Shreya Kaushik, welcome to Ecofeminism.
Thank you so much, Manel. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
The pleasure is ours. So, who is Shreya Kaushik?
I am from India, settled in Brussels since last 4 years now, and I've been an artist, although I've done my legal studies, but I would say I've always been I felt connection with art forms of India and always been learning and doing something related to art and culture.
Wow. So you have a background in law, so you have your diploma in law, but at the same time you had this engagement towards art, so you were really deeply involved in artistic activities. So how did you get involved in that field, actually?
Actually, I would like to say that I think art chose me. I didn't choose art.
Good.
Since the very childhood, I was always too attracted towards all the classical dance forms of India and the different art forms, art styles of painting and all that. So I felt very a deep connection with the Indian art forms. And since I was 6, I started to learn Indian classical dance, which is a specific dance form from the northern region of India called Kathak. And it was a dance form used to tell stories or the ancient sagas of India to the community or the society. So I started to learn that since quite a young age. And slowly, steadily, I felt myself more connected to that art form, and I kept learning. And over years, I think I learned for more than 10 years now.
Okay, perfect. So you have a deep connection with art and sagas and history and culture, and this is, I mean, this is what we discover in your shows, in your, I mean, latest shows. Actually, the one which is going to take place in Beaux-Arts, we will talk about it. But what is really important is the saga, is the history, is the culture. So it's part of your belonging and part of your culture is this storytelling transformed or which is which is involved in your shows, in your dances, in your performance. So how can you speak about these sagas and this culture and this specific story, let's say?
I would like to say that culture is not just an Indian thing, but everywhere there is culture and art.
Of course.
And if people are connected with each other, the main thing is art and culture. So especially in India, culture is a very important thing, and we have been learning about it since the childhood, and we are very well connected with our culture. So culture is something which cannot be forgotten, although there's a lot of modernization and commercialization, but culture has to be preserved.
Okay.
So that was my vision. Even when I moved to Belgium, I wanted to promote the Indian culture and the values, because still a lot of people haven't seen the actual Indian culture.
Sure. So this is I think the added value of your association of Art Lunch 9, your organization, and also your shows and your performances, because I can say it. Let's say to people that you are one of the first Indian performers here in Brussels who introduced the Indian and the Bollywood culture in Brussels, because we already know that in England, in the UK, in Paris, we have so many performers, so many people, presenting shows, Indian shows and Bollywood shows, and also celebrating the festivals of lights and culture and colors and whatsoever. But in Brussels, we really need presence of the Indian culture, and this is what Shreya introduced. So we are very happy to have you here to speak about your project.
I'm glad that I'm here, first of all, and second of all, in the beginning when I started, bringing up Indian projects to Belgium and Brussels specifically, I really felt that there's a lot of liking towards the Indian culture.
Good.
And there were several artists, even the Belgian people, those who went to India to learn some special and specific art forms in music or dancing. So I was really impressed, and I was really moved to see that there's a lot of connection from every part of the world to India in some or the other way.
Okay, so you said that there were a lot of Belgian people interested in the Indian culture, and they went, into India to learn dancing and performance?
Yes, yes. I have a few friends. They are Belgians. They are from Belgium, and they went to India to learn how to play sitar or how to sing or how to dance. So they have learned.
Very impressive.
Yes, and they have learned the actual classical art forms of the Indian music and dancing. So that was quite impressive.
Okay. So what's the difference between the Indian culture and Bollywood? Let's say there is a confusion in the minds of people. When we speak about India, we always have this idea of Bollywood and performance and actors and actresses and music and dance and all that culture which turns around the Bollywood industry. But you told me that there is a huge difference between Indian culture and Bollywood. Can you explain it to our TV viewers, please?
Yes, it's a very good question, because I have seen that mostly people use Bollywood and they relate India to Bollywood. But there is definitely a big difference in Indian culture and Bollywood. So Indian culture is a very vast thing. It's a big sphere, and Bollywood is just a stream of it. So Indian culture had a lot of classical art forms and in dancing and music, and now with the commercialization and the modernization, Bollywood has become the modern look of Indian culture. So because of the commercialization, people know more about Bollywood and less about the Indian culture, because it is promoting by the Indian people with the name of Bollywood. But actually Bollywood I would say it's a baby of the Indian culture. Yeah, or the Indian music and the dance art. But Indian culture is way much more bigger than just Bollywood. Bollywood is just a modern version of the Indian art forms of music and dancing.
So, how did the team was created in Belgium? Back to your organization, the idea of creating your own organization, your own shows and performances here in Brussels. How did you create your team?
I would say I got lucky here, because when I came to Belgium, when I moved from India to Brussels, I was a bit hesitant to, because of the language barrier. I didn't know how to speak French or Flemish language. So I was a bit hesitant to, speak to people about what I wish to do in future and about my new projects. But somehow a very big role was played by the social media. And I would say it's one of the positive aspect of social media nowadays, that you get to meet the right people that you wish to meet. And that is how I found a lot of people interested to be a part of such projects in Brussels. So that is how I got the connectivity with a lot of people. They wish to dance the Indian style, or they are singers, or they have been learning the Indian art form since ages now. So that is how I connected with people. And I'm so happy today that I have such a big team of more than 40 people now, and they are from all different countries and all different parts of the world. So not just Indian, but all different countries around the world.
Okay, so what's the message behind this project? Is gathering people from different countries, as you said, from at least 7 different countries and from different cultures who are interested in the Indian culture, just to show or just to vehicle a message of love. So is it possible in Brussels to have this peace, coexistence and message of love, which is also vehicled in Taj Mahal, the eternal love? We will be speaking about the performance later. Is it possible to gather these people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, from different origins, religions and whatsoever, to speak about one common thing, which is the eternal love?
Yes, I wish to share this experience of mine, because in the beginning, definitely it was really hard to bring together a team of artists, that to a big team of like 28 on-stage artists for one show in a different country where you don't speak the language and you don't know people so well.
It's really a challenge.
Yes, it was like a challenge to me, and I was fortunate enough to meet the right people, and further I felt that people were so into the project, they really wanted to be a part of it, which was a bit, I was like pleasantly surprised to see love for the Indian culture and the enthusiasm in the people to be part of the Indian project, which was like a new project for Belgium. And people from different countries, they didn't know how to dance the Indian way or how to perform like an Indian prince on stage or an Indian king on stage, and still they wanted to learn and they wanted to be a part of it. So that I was quite pleasantly surprised. And so this was the team, how the team pushed me further towards my goal. And I was really happy to see the enthusiasm in the team. And then when the first show we did in 2015 in Brussels, I was surprised with the applause that we got and the feedback from the audience that we got, that people just say that we have never seen such a thing till now.
Yeah, sure.
And there were claps for so long at the end, and so that is how the artists feel happy about what they are doing. And not just Brussels, we went with the same show about Taj Mahal to Germany, specifically the city Munich and Stuttgart. And over one weekend we did 2 shows, and the audience were fabulous and they supported us so well. They came, a lot of people came backstage to meet the artists and to see the director, or to have a picture with them. So that is what an artist always needs, appreciation. Sure. Everything comes after that. So appreciation, what an artist always craves for.
Yeah, and let us remind people that the performers have their own jobs. They have their day jobs. They are engineers or administrators or people working in certain areas, or lawyers or whatsoever, but they have in common this love to the Indian culture and to art specifically, and they are also volunteering. So you are not always paid for this job, but you are volunteering for the job.
Yes, exactly. Most of the people in my team, they are full-time working somewhere else. In the ministries or in the education sector, or as a teacher, or as an IT professional, and we find time in the evenings or over the weekend. So it's so happy to see them even after a full week of work, all the 5 days, they are happy to come on the weekends. And some of them, they come from different cities also, like Antwerp or Ghent to Brussels for the rehearsals. So it's so happy to work with such passionate and enthusiastic people.
Sure. And how much time does it take to prepare I mean, a performance like that? I mean, in terms of rehearsals, in terms of dancing, acting, and scenarios, writing the scenarios, and all that stuff. I mean,
the whole procedure, which includes like the scripting of the show, the casting of the show, the rehearsals for the dance, and the rehearsals with the actors and technical things. It takes almost 9 to 10 months to prepare such a show, because we have this show on Taj Mahal, and we have like around 28 or 30 on-stage artists. That includes the actors and the dancers, and then we have the backstage team or the technical team as well.
Okay, good. So we have a multicultural team coming from different countries, and you had already realized the first edition of the Festival of Lights, and there will be the second edition because the first one was very successful. Can you speak about the experience of the Festival of Lights, please?
Yes. So the Festival of Light in India, it's called Diwali.
Diwali, yeah.
And it's like Christmas for us, and it's the one of the biggest festivals of India. And the whole India is, sparkling with lights and colors and everything. So last year we did a very small version of the festival in Brussels, and we were happy that a lot of people came, and they really enjoyed. They felt at home. So the main reason or the main cause of celebrating this day is that Lord Rama was coming back to his home after 14 years of exile in the forests, and so unfortunately that night was a no moon night, and then the city thought of coming up with an idea that they will light up the whole city with lights, with lamps.
Okay.
So that was the thing.
The story.
And yes, and it also throws light on the end of darkness with light, or the end of cruelty or bad impacts over people or anything with positivity.
Okay, so the Festival of Lights has a message which is positivity, lights,
yes,
happiness, and the ending of darkness, as
yes,
you said. How did people react to the Festival of Lights? I mean, Belgian people, expats living in Belgium, in Brussels. Are they very curious about knowing the story? Do they want to celebrate with you? Do they want to share something from the Indian culture, like food, like festivities, dancing, and all that stuff?
Yes, so last year, in the first edition of the Festival of Light, it was like a gathering of almost 600 people in Brussels. And I would say there was a equal amount of Indians as well as the non-Indians in the gathering, and people loved the concept, because I think it was something new in Brussels, and people loved to know about the story as well, not just the celebration or the dancing part or the food part, but to know about the story. So we had planned a special animated story just for children.
Really?
So everybody was really waiting for that moment to know about why we are celebrating this day. So they really wanted to know the reason about why it's so important to celebrate this day. So that was something that people loved, and yes, it was a day, it was a gathering which was loved by everybody, and everybody loved the concept of celebrating that day, the way we celebrate in India, with a lot of lights all around, and people dressed up beautifully with a lot of sparkling clothes and jewelry, and good Indian food and Indian sweets. So yeah, that's the main attraction that day. A lot of lights and a lot of food and sweets.
Good. This would lead us to the next question about the costumes, because you spoke about costumes and sparkling costumes, and we already know the Bollywood effect. We see that with your beautiful dress here today. It's I mean, it's part of the Indian culture, but it's also part of the Indian costumes that you definitely need in your show. So how did you get these costumes? Are they brought from India to Brussels, or do you have certain tailors here working for you to prepare the costumes? What about the makeup? So we are, I mean, eager to know about how did you prepare this part of the show, which is very important as well.
So yeah, it's a good question, and I would like to share that dressing up and makeup has always been a very integral part of the Indian culture, and it's not something modern, but since ancient ages, especially the ladies, they love to dress up and to do their makeup and everything, and in Hindi it's called shringar. It means dressing up.
Okay, so this is the process of this.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I planned to have a show, like an Indian show in Belgium, I was really worried about the costumes, because costume and the makeup is very important to present the Indian culture. So I thought, okay, let's do something special, because these shows and what I'm doing is very close to my heart, being an artist. So I designed the clothes here, and then I went to India, I bought the materials, and then I found a few tailors who could stitch the things well.
Okay, so the costumes are manufactured here in Brussels, actually?
No, it was all manufactured in India.
Okay, everything in India. Okay,
everything came from India, everything was designed there, stitched there. So everything was absolutely Indian. When we present the show, it has to be absolutely Indian. Otherwise, we won't be able to convey what we are trying to. So yeah, everything was from India. Everything, from the shoes, from the jewelry, to the costumes, and then yes, makeup also, because Indian makeup, or in modern words we can say the Bollywood makeup, is quite different from the other makeup styles from the world, around the world, and the jewelry as well. Okay. So yes, I worked specifically for a few days on that part of the show.
Okay, thank you. What about your future projects? So we spoke about the Festival of Lights and second edition, but are there any future projects for Art Lunch 9?
Yes. In the beginning, I was a bit skeptical about, doing these things, but as I see that the love that we get from the audience or the people who come for our events, and they say that we feel at home and we wish to be a part of it next time as well. So all these things encourage us a lot to do more. So yes, we are totally encouraged, and we have a few projects in pipeline. Like we're gonna do the Festival of Lights once again, and we are working on another very big project for this year, which is called Ram Leela, and it's about the Indian saga of Lord Rama and how he killed a monster, I would say, or in Hindi it's called the Rakshas. So, and this time we're gonna focus on children.
Okay, good.
Because there's a lot of interest that children also wants to know about the Indian stories, the ancient Indian stories and sagas. So we're gonna focus on how children would love to see the show.
Okay.
So totally focused on that.
Perfect.
Yes.
I heard that you have raised money for charity for India following the floods that happened in southern India. And as you said, the show is entitled Ecofeminism, so it speaks about gender equality, women who are engaged for the planet and also who are defending the environment and fighting against climate change. So you are one of these women, actually, because you are raising money for charity to help people in India after the floods. Can you speak about this experience?
Yes, that was an unfortunate incident that happened at the end of 2015. There was a very devastating flood in the southern part of India, and I have a lot of friends from that part of India, and we collaborated together to come up with we came up with an idea of doing a show to raise charity and funds for the people, because it was like one of the most beautiful cities in India, in the southern part of India, and it was fully destroyed by the floods. It was quite a major setback to India that time, and fortunately we collaborated together, and we raised funds through a show where we presented a lot of different Indian art forms, and we raised whatever we raised, we sent everything to India. So that was one big project that we did, and we were happy that we got a lot of support and love from the people in Belgium. They came to see our show, and it was a full house, and people loved it.
Okay.
Yes, and a lot of people donated as well.
Good.
So that was a good thing, and we do keep on doing such things for charity, and for suppressed people in India or the underprivileged children. So we try to do a lot of things for such causes.
Okay. How do you qualify, today, the situation in terms of fighting against climate change in India and the environment? You said that there were a lot of floods, and it is one of the countries which is endangered by climate change and suffered a lot from that. From natural disasters. So how can you, as an individual, as a female entrepreneur, help fighting against climate change?
I would like to say that it begins from home. As an individual, everybody needs to try on their personal level. We must teach our kids as well how to save energy. That starts from home.
Good.
So we have to teach the younger generation. They don't know, and we need to educate them about it. For example, how to save energy, how to save water. So
I think that this is also a problem. The water crisis sometimes in India, or electricity, or there is problem in terms of energy, water, and all that stuff.
Yes, exactly. So the modernization or the evolution is definitely helping us to be a better person in some or the other way, but we cannot forget the values that were taught to us to save water. This is something which people have taught us, our grandfathers, our grandparents, that you must save water, you must save energy. So this is something that we must still teach our kids in school or at home on an individual level, so that they become more understanding about it, and they understand the value of these things, and that is how the global warming and everything is affecting us. So we need to educate the younger generation a bit more about it.
Okay, so education in terms of climate change sensitization is a must.
Yes,
actually.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, what about what is special about your contribution as an artist in terms of your work in terms of sensitization to the planet? Do you have because we know in certain shows you have this message of love, of loving each other, of eternal love, which is the purpose of Taj Mahal and the story of Taj Mahal. But do you have this message, hidden, or we have to we have to read between the lines in certain shows or in certain performances about sensitization about the planet, about the world, about the plants, about nature, about the animals, about everything which is around us.
Yes, here I would like to add one more thing which is slightly connected with what I said lately, that I believe in vegetarianism.
Okay.
So I myself is a vegetarian, my family is a vegetarian family, and it's not because of any influence, it was by choice or the culture, I would say. And I'm totally against the animal cruelty. So yes, that is also one thing which I see that people are starting to learn about it. More and more people, the famous people, are turning into vegetarians or the vegans. So this is also one very important thing, which is a very big reason of all these things happening around us, which we don't want to see in the future. So this is one thing that I wish to, as a message also, I wish to convey that vegetarianism is something which everybody must at least have knowledge of. They must know about it. If they don't want to follow it, that's their choice, but still they must read about it. What is the benefit and what needs to be done for that. So everybody must have a knowledge of being a vegetarian, what are the pros and cons, and if they like it, they can become a vegetarian. So I think in some or the other way that adds to the society and adds to the ecosystem. Yes.
Sure. Thank you, Shreya, for this beautiful message. It has been a very good conversation, very inspiring and very informative, and we have learned a lot of things with you about Bollywood and Indian culture. But I'd like you to give me an insight about the people that influenced Shreya in her journey towards artistic performance, towards being an artist, being a fully performer. Some teachers, mentors, people who influenced you to become who you are today.
Yes, it's a very, very important question, because what I feel that everyone must have a mentor in some or the other way, not just about being an artist or being a teacher in art, but anywhere. If you like mathematics, you must have a mentor to guide you, because if you want to succeed in one field, you must have the proper guidance with you. And a lot of people
the guru.
Yes, the guru. So a lot of people, they come into our lives to teach us some lessons in some or the other way, but a teacher or a mentor or a guru is somebody who is going to show you the right path. So when I was 6, luckily, and I was so fortunate that I got the right teacher to guide me, because otherwise I never knew that I can dance. So he was the one who always told me that, Shreya, you will become a very good dancer. So don't leave this. Keep learning. So
he was really encouraging you.
He was really the encouragement for me to go ahead and learn that dance form, because learning a classical dance form is not easy. It's like meditation. It's like meditation. It's like an exercise, which you cannot be. You have to be very careful about it, about how you learn and how you rehearse and how you practice.
Especially at 6.
Yes. So having a mentor is very important in life, and not just the teacher or the mentor. It's the parents also, which they play the most important part, because I still remember when I was small, I used to sometimes I used to cry that, okay, today I'm not happy because my teacher has scolded me about something. So my parents, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, they used to encourage me about it, that it happens when you learn, you do wrong, and still you have to learn.
is part of the lesson.
Yes. So the family, the friends around you, they are also mentoring you in some or the other way. So all these are mentors in our life, and they are really, really important. And I'm happy that I found some teachers who have really, they are the most important people in my life, apart from my family and my parents. And I got to learn so many things, not just about art, but how to be a good human being, and not just learning, but how to give it to the society as well. Because you cannot just learn and keep it to yourself. Sure. You have to spread it and share it with others. So that is what art and culture is all about.
Sure. Thank you, Shreya. We just end up this conversation with an ending note and a quotation from you or from one of your best authors to share with our TV viewers, just a piece of wisdom or advice to the viewers about how they should follow their dreams or how they should carry on their journey to be successful.
Here I would like to mention one of the great saying of Mahatma Gandhi. I think everybody knows him. Sure. And once he said that if you wish to see some change in the world, be that change. So if we wish to see the people around us happy, we need to be happy, and we need to spread that happiness around us. So it's really important to be that change, to see that in front of you. I would like to also add here that I believe, through my experience and through my learning, I believe that everyone must be connected to some or the other form of classical art, because that is what we are, you know. Sure. It's the soul. It's like a meditation. So we have to groom our soul, and the connection, yes, and the connection with the classical forms of art, music, culture, they are really, they are some spiritual things that we must connect to. And that will really contribute to the society.
Of course, absolutely. Thank you, Shreya, for this beautiful message. So you have to be change maker and spread happiness, and also have to be connected with culture, art, and literature, and whatsoever, any form of art that could feed your soul. So let us remind our TV viewers that you can go on the website of Art Lunch 9, www.artlunch9.be, and please don't forget to book your tickets for the Eternal Love Taj Mahal performance, which will take place on Friday 28th of April in Beaux-Arts. Thank you for following us, and see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.